This is Campus News, reporting the top stories from colleges and universities.
Next on Campus News.
I'm Sarah Erickson. Coming up, one NDSU researcher uses her love for microbiology to create mead, which is honey wine.
MSUM students were able to step into African culture on their own beat.
One MSUM alum is taking his view behind the microphone to national TV.
But first, some MSUM students are hitting the streets and raising their voices against a sexual assault ruling.
Thank you for joining us and welcome to Campus News. I'm Ariana Babcock.
And I'm Jordan Schreier.
The sentencing of a confessed rapist has some Minnesota State University Moorhead students outraged.
Those students responded with a protest to speak out and educate the community. Reporter Josie Jerezik takes us to the streets where the students are taking a stand against what they call a light sentencing.
On the Veterans Memorial Bridge joining Fargo and Moorhead, signs of protest and chants of frustration.
Break the silence! Stop the violence!
They say they're fighting an injustice in their community, something they say is exemplary of a larger problem. A year ago, Taylor Jared Peterson was charged of raping an MSUM sorority member. Now, a guilty plea and a sentence of 1 year probation. Their reactions: shock.
That was pretty outrageous to me. He pleaded guilty. Throw him in jail.
It was just shock. It's really an outrage.
It's hard to wrap our heads around it, the fact that people take it so lightly.
They say such light sentences perpetuate the rapes of students.
It's been kind of a haven for rapists to get away with what they've done to women on campus and not be taken to task for it.
The system operates to protect rapists and not women.
And in a campus setting, they say an enforced culture against rape is particularly important.
When I was at an Office Depot buying pens and pencils and binders to go to school, I was rather stunned to see pepper spray as part of the thing to put in my pencil bag. It's kind of messed up and I want to see that change.
It's a protest turned learning opportunity about consent.
People don't really know what it is. Voluntary, mutually understood, enthusiastic, and ongoing.
As long as we're keeping the conversation going and educating people, hopefully this issue will get better.
Students, faculty, and community members together for a common goal.
It's time to stop the violence against women. I think, let's just stop.
With photographer Alicia Lape, Josie Jerezik, Campus News.
MSUM students and faculty are looking to further a culture against rape via recommendations of a recently formed task force against sexual assault. MSUM football player Zachary Hilliard pleaded guilty to sexually assaulting a female student in his dorm room this past fall. The 18-year-old pleaded guilty to 1 count of 5th-degree criminal sexual conduct in Clay County District Court. Court documents say Hilliard held down his former girlfriend and forced himself on her while she repeatedly said no on September 18th. The victim filed a report with police saying the assault happened about 1 week after their relationship ended. After the assault, court documents say Hilliard texted the victim, "I was wrong, I agree, and sorry." His sentencing is set for May 11th.
Fargo Moorhead students strap on the stilettos and attempt the mile walk designed to raise awareness of gender violence.
Now walk it out, walk it out, walk it out, walk it out. I said now walk it out.
Walk a Mile in Her Shoes is an annual event that's been going on for 5 years at MSUM. The university's only fraternity, Kappa Sigma, has been involved with the event during that time. While walking in unfamiliar footwear, the frat members were still heard having a good time.
All right, I'm thinking we sing For the Longest Time. Who wants to sing it with me? 4 parts. Yeah, you're not in it, Kevin.
In total, the walking raised more than $900 for the Rape and Abuse Crisis Center.
Students at NDSU have found a way to turn a simple t-shirt into a fight against sexual assault. People can decorate t-shirts as a symbol for sexual assault victims as part of the Clothesline Project. The project travels through residence halls at NDSU for all students to see and make their own shirts in honor of victims.
In addition to the Clothesline Project being open for anybody to contribute and make a shirt and add to the project, we also have a station where you can sign a pledge to take a stand against relationship violence and sexual violence and stalking on campus.
The exhibit is in conjunction with the Sexpo event at NDSU. For many people, stories of others living in poverty and struggling at the brink of homelessness are just that, stories.
Onizi Ohekari joins us live in the studio to tell us how students and faculty at NDSU are helping change that mentality.
Ariana and Jordan, as the rate of homelessness is on the rise in the Fargo-Moorhead area, one NDSU professor created a day where students will not only read about poverty in a textbook, but feel the real-life struggles. I met with students at NDSU who stepped out of the classroom and into the shoes of a family living in poverty.
Okay, so I'll pay for clothing and then medical and food.
For one day, a room is transformed into a poor neighborhood. Families struggle to pay their bills, stay out of jail, and avoid being evicted.
It puts you in the role of a family who's going through poverty and trying to survive a month.
Each week of the month is divided into 15 minutes, and the families must try to survive all 4 weeks.
We have a reliable vehicle, but we're still paying a loan.
For one family, the struggle for survival hit them right from the beginning.
For me, I wanted to be the person in the family, knowing that I was an adult, to kind of go around, pay the bills, get all this stuff done and work, but then finding out in the role of that, I was the disabled grandfather who got disability from the government, so I was, in a sense, limited to what I could really do.
Do we have enough money for that? We will after my paycheck.
As the struggle gets harder and people start to run for resources, the goal of the event becomes clear.
People living in poverty are just like you and me. They are facing their own share of struggles, they have their own stresses to worry about, and we can't make assumptions based on things that we think or judgments that we think if we've never lived it before.
After the simulation, students shared their experiences and takeaways from the session. One lesson that resounded around the room was a change in how they viewed the poor.
It gives me a lot of respect for them, and most of the time we had things come to us like a death, and that was not planned. So there's a lot of things that just kind of happen in life. Life just kind of hits you in the face sometimes, I guess.
You see people on the side of the road, you have your ideals of what they're doing with their life, what their life must be like, but this really gives a great perspective as to what their lives really are possibly like.
Do you want me to pay for all of them?
Though the students may have left their name tags and characters behind, the lessons learned will remain longer.
This is NDSU's first time hosting this event. The next simulation will be held in November.
Thank you, Onize. North Dakota is known for making honey products and is soon to have its first honey wine producing meadery.
Reporter Sarah Erickson met with one NDSU researcher who is following her dreams and using her love for microbiology to start a business.
As a plant pathologist, Susan Rude spends most of her days inside the labs at NDSU, looking at diseased plants in petri dishes. But soon, that will change.
Just seemed like the right time to do it.
After being a researcher at NDSU for 25 years, she plans on making the move and pursuing her dreams by opening up her own business.
Mead is a honey wine that is fermented for 2 to 3 months before it's ready to be bottled for consumption. And right now, the market is up 150% from a couple years ago. Ruth says she's been making mead at home for almost 20 years now.
It's very fulfilling. Mead in general. I don't know, I've loved it since the first time I tasted it.
Her mead is no ordinary mead. It has earned awards locally and received gold at the national level 4 times.
I'm excited. It's starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As soon as the business is open and doing well, Ruth says she plans on retiring from NDSU.
Kind of like to phase out of that eventually, not for a couple of years or so, but then kind of make this my retirement business.
Ruth says she hopes to be open in a couple of months and that her business will help people learn more about what mead is.
Just that I hope everybody will come out and enjoy our mead.
She's just a few months away from opening North Dakota's first meadery. With photographer Darby Fike, Sarah Erickson, Campus News.
Prairie Rose Meadery will be open Thursday through Sunday in the future.
The National Potato Council ranks North Dakota as the 4th highest potato producer, with NDSU faculty contributing to the rankings. NDSU's Dr. Andy Robinson received the Emerging Leader Award at the National Potato Council's yearly meeting. Robinson spends his days at NDSU and sometimes the U of M, helping farmers and students learn about potatoes. The Spudman Emerging Leader Award is presented to people under the age of 35 who show leadership and promote the potato industry. Dr. Robinson says he enjoyed the honor but is back in the dirt at NDSU.
I really like the fact that it gives recognition to us, our potato growers here in the Red River Valley. And, you know, it's just, I don't know, for me, it's just business as usual. You do your part and, you know, and just grateful that sometimes some people recognize you for the good work you're doing.
This award is submitted by potato growers, researchers, and other leaders in the potato industry. Apple is coming out with a new set of racially diverse smiley faces, also known as emoji characters.
Haley Warnicki reports how some students can't wait to get their fingers on the newest iPhone update.
Emojis are tiny pictures people can use while they text. They can take the form of smiley faces, thumbs ups, and various objects.
I think emojis for myself just kind of adds a little to what you're saying. It can be funny. I think a lot of times people use them in a funny way.
I use them for, like on my softball team, if we have new freshmen, I'll put their name in my phone and then I'll put like a little softball or baseball by the name.
As of right now, emojis are only light-skinned characters, but a recent petition at DoSomething.org last March collected thousands of signatures about the limited diversity of emojis.
I think it's cool because obviously as a person of color, I haven't been able to use an emoji that looks kind of like me.
I think it's quite a good idea, and they're expanding their mindset to accommodate other cultures.
It's a good start for, you know, for Apple to really kind of show that they do care about diversity and that they don't want people to feel excluded.
Emojis can be used by anyone with a smartphone. With the addition of the new racially diverse emojis, some may feel they can find characters more relatable to themselves. With photographer Louis Johnson, Haley Warnicki, Campus News.
A Fargo radio personality and MSUM alum is being featured in New York.
Reporter Tyrell Philly shows us how the recent graduate is making his voice heard.
I've written a couple jokes, so let's pretend to laugh.
It's the early morning here in Fargo, and already Taylor Peterson has been up for hours.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
His day starts at 4 a.m.
I get up, usually get a shower in about half the time, and come to work.
Peterson is an executive producer at the radio station Big 98.7, where he is more commonly known by his nickname, Pike. His duties include operating all the sound and technical equipment needed to broadcast.
Pretty much everything to do with audio that gets played back, that's what I handle.
The 2014 MSUM graduate got his start in radio early. While still in high school, Pike got his first opportunity.
Like that? I mean, serious?
Okay. I got a call just from a guy that was running a radio station here in town, and he had heard from a friend of mine's mom that she had a kid who had a friend who was interested in radio, and she thought it was funny, so I just got a call one day.
Within weeks, he was on air. Since then, he has juggled student life with his work.
It was always frustrating, like showing up to class knowing that I wasn't as prepared as everybody else, and a lot of teachers, you know, assume you're just a lazy kid that was a bad student.
Despite the struggle, Peterson has been in the radio industry for 6 years. He says he's had plenty of unique experiences.
I vomited in a mascot suit one time. In front of kids, hundreds of kids.
Peterson was recently in New York on the set of the talk show The View. He was invited there by Rosie O'Donnell after interviewing the host on his show.
Oh man, it was crazy. I've got a big crush on Whoopi Goldberg, so to meet her in person was pretty romantic.
The producer's coworkers are quick to praise his work.
Every morning I walk in here and I think, God, this kid really has it going on.
A guy this creative doesn't come along very often.
This is fantastic. Are you ready?
You guys are ridiculous.
Pike has gone a long way in a short time, from Fargo to New York. He says he's excited to see where radio might take him next. With photographer Nikki Nowen, Tyrell Philly, Campus News.
When he isn't on air, he's playing music with his band. Students and people of the Fargo-Moorhead area gathered at MSUM to learn about a different type of dance.
Reporter Shaylee Meyer takes us to the Hanson Theater for more.
Hands were clapping and feet were stomping as the members of Step Africa took the stage at Hanson Theater. Step Africa is a group based out of Washington, D.C. that travel around the world to promote and teach stepping and to send out a positive message.
Young people know that, you know, with going to school, with going to college and getting a degree, there are many, many different opportunities that are available to you in this world.
The group is made up of 11 full-time members. All of them are college graduates. Throughout their performance, they invited the audience to participate by clapping along and even joining them on stage.
In front of you, like so. You're right. Here you go. You're lit.
My favorite part was how interactive it was with the audience. It wasn't just a show you went to, it was a show that you were kind of part of.
Yeah. Guys.
Their performance consisted of a traditional African dance, a little comedy, and even a step battle that got pretty competitive.
Hold it.
We just really want to share and promote the art form of stepping. It's an important part of American culture, and we just really want to make sure that our audiences are having as much fun as we're having.
At the end of the night, some people walked away with a few new dance moves.
In fact, I'll show you one that I learned right now.
Okay, show me.
Shaylee Meyer, Campus News.
Step Africa is a nonprofit organization that supports students to continue their education.
Planking, push-ups, and power squats are a few exercises at Concordia's Cobber Fitness program. Students came in their tank tops with water bottles in hand to take part in a night of rigorous exercising.
The boot camp kicked my butt, to put it simply.
The students pushed and planked at the command of their high-energy instructor at the Body Boot Camp. The boot camp is a part of the Cobber Fitness program, which began 2 months ago at Concordia College. The classes are held twice a month for students to exercise and make new friends. For some students, being involved in a group exercise provides a more comfortable atmosphere to work out.
Group fitness is amazing. Everybody should do it because you'd be surprised how much more motivated you are when you have people around you. Like, some people are a little afraid at first. They're like, ooh, I don't want to work out in front of other people. Like, it's kind of scary, but then you get there and it's seriously like a team.
Cobber Fitness is a student-run program that began this semester. NDSU recently hosted its annual Rocky Bell Boulder Competition, a rock climbing event that attracted some daredevils.
Reporter Eric Anderson tells us how students are climbing to new heights.
Climbing enthusiasts from around the area flocked to the NDSU Wellness Center for the Rocky Bell Boulder Competition. Anders Hendrickson helped judge the event.
Perfect. Whenever you are ready. It is a bouldering competition, so we're climbing without ropes, and we put crash pads down below us to cushion our falls. We have this competition every year, and it's pretty awesome. It's no pressure, it's super fun, and it's a good atmosphere to try climbing.
The event attracts climbers from North Dakota, Minnesota, and Canada. MSUM Climbing Club attends the competition every year. Michael Pittman is a first-year member of the club and says competitions like these help climbers improve their skills.
Don't give up, because, I mean, it's seriously like the difference is literally between night and day. Like, you go in one night and you can't get a move or something down, you sleep on it, the next day you come back and you've got it like no one's business.
He says that the climbing club is always looking for new members and no experience is needed.
I mean, like me personally, I thought it was going to be full of people that were just kind of like in their own clique, but everyone's really, really open and really want to see you succeed.
Maddie Werdinger and Eric Anderson, Campus News.
The MSUM Climbing Club left the competition with a lot of hardware. 7 climbers placed with top 3 honors in their divisions. And now we turn it over to Shaylee Meyer for a look at this week's sports.
Shaylee, I hear the Cobbers were off to a pretty good start in baseball.
Yeah, the new coach is definitely keeping up the winning Cobber tradition. The Concordia Moorhead baseball team stormed into spring with a 12-5 start. Turner Blofis takes us to the diamond for a closer look at the Cobbers.
The Concordia baseball team has won a dozen of their first 17 games, and it all starts at the plate. Concordia is at the top of Division III in hitting with a whopping .391 average. Concordia boasts a veteran roster, but none of the players bring the type of experience first-year coach Chris Coast has. Coast spent 16 years in the majors and took home a World Series championship with the Philadelphia Phillies in 2008.
Actually been pretty simple, because when Bucky brought me on board, he kind of let me take as much control as I wanted. So each of those first 3 years, he kind of let me take a little bit more control. So last year, you know, he still eventually made all the final decisions, but he let me make a lot of decisions if I wanted to.
The Cobber pitching staff has pulled their weight as well. Juniors Kyle Connolly and Ross Merriman have already been named MIAC Pitchers of the Week.
I just think that we've prepared very well and it's been showing up on the field. So, I mean, we're a really close-knit group. I think it's just been transferred to the field.
Along with the superb rotation, Nick Bornhauser has also been named Player of the Week twice this season. The senior infielder has been lighting up the box score with a .472 average after batting .167 last season.
Teams are scared to face us. They look at our batting average and see that we're hitting above 400 or something like that. It's kind of a confidence booster.
The Cobbers are now entering conference play, and the MIAC is wide open. Last year, Concordia finished with a 9-11 conference record, and this year they expect a tight finish for the MIAC crown. With photographer Meg Kime, Turner Bloffus, Campus News Sports.
The Cobbers continue their conference schedule today with a doubleheader at Hamline University. First pitch is set for 1 p.m. NDSU has claimed 2 of the 5 spots on the Summit League's academic all-league team. The league chose Chris Kading and AJ Jacobson based on their academic and athletic performance this season. Kading, an exercise science major, has a 3.8 GPA. He started all 30 games for the Bison this season. Jacobson is a biological science major and has a 4.0. He was the Summit League's top scoring freshman with 11.9 points per game. The MSU Moorhead men's basketball team wrapped up their record-breaking season on March 25th in the NCAA Division II. Reporter Tommy Thompson traveled to Evansville, Indiana to watch the team and talk to head coach Chad Walthall about his thoughts on the Dragons' legendary season.
The MSUM Dragons basketball team concluded their season stepping up in a spotlight on a national stage they'd never before seen. Making it to the Elite 8 level of the NCAA Division II basketball tournament was an unprecedented feat for the Dragon men. The team faced a tough Bellarmine University and was defeated 92-75. Head coach Chad Walthall says the team's performance this year was outstanding.
It was just a great ride, and they have a lot to be proud of, and you know, it's great to see MSUM and the city of Moorhead really embrace the team and get on board, and it was just a great season.
Even while losing 3 seniors, the Dragons have returning strength and don't plan on slowing down.
Well, we have a lot of minutes returning. A lot of guys have played a lot of games and a lot of minutes, and so we obviously lose 3 terrific seniors, but you know, the good thing is that we're not starting from scratch.
Walthall says the team has brought recognition to the program.
I know when I recruit kids, our name is much more recognizable. I know kids are returning my phone calls a lot quicker than they did 5 years ago.
For the team, the final buzzer wasn't the end. It just led to a few more handshakes on the path through a historic season and onto a bright future. Tommy Thompson, Campus News Sports.
Walthall was just named the Clarence Big House Gaines Division II Coach of the Year. He has a 111-45 record with the Dragons. Some college basketball fans don't take losing very well. After the University of Kentucky's perfect season came to an end in the NCAA March Madness tournament, many fans took their frustration out the wrong way. 31 Kentucky fans were arrested in Lexington following the Wildcats' loss. Several were arrested for public intoxication, while others faced charges for disorderly conduct. Fans lit shirts and furniture on fire following the game, but police say they were prepared for the possibility of riots.
I don't see how that got so out of hand, considering when I watch sports, I have to ask other people what color I should be rooting for.
Yeah, I think the fans took it a little overboard with this one.
Thanks, Shaylee.
While some students may wake up in the morning and think about what shirt to wear, one MSUM athlete is thinking about his next piece of clothing to design.
I met with one student who says his company Blur is making his goals for the future crystal clear. When Miles Montplaisir isn't on the football field, he is tackling tasks for his company Blur.
I'm like, okay, well, if I want to run and own businesses, the only way to get good at it is actually doing it.
So he did it, starting in January.
Let's start earlier and dream bigger.
Just what Miles did when he began designing the shirts and leggings with Blur on each product, hoping to make the brand his own.
This is the one we've sold the most of.
By marketing the company mainly through this website and these videos.
The nature of the shirts we put out, it is easily geared towards athletes. They're very good at taking on ideas about working hard and going for your goals and going for your dreams and believing in yourself.
Just wanted people to get psyched up and make them want to buy a shirt because they can support a company who's really serious and wants to achieve big things.
It's not just the words now, it's the whole picture, and he's put that all together in film, and I think it's a marvelous way of presenting it. Very good marketing technique. I didn't teach him that.
I know that I'm young, but being young means you have less respect for boundaries. And without boundaries, that's when people create amazing things that no one has seen before.
Whether it's running on the field or a company, he says you better love each step you take.
If I love it and I would wear it, I think other people would too. And I think that in business you have to follow your intuition that way.
Miles says that the company may be in its early stages.
I love doing it, so it doesn't really feel like work,
But he is ready to grab his hard hat and lunch pail and go to work on continuously improving Blur to make the company as successful as possible. Miles also has a business partner who grew up in the area and is now a student at the University of Missouri. For more information, you can visit the website at www.blurlife.com. And that's it for this edition of Campus News.
We leave you with another look at Step Africa.
Thanks for joining us and have a great week.
Campus News is produced by the Television News Workshop in the School of Communication and Journalism at Minnesota State University Moorhead in cooperation with Prairie Public Television.
Hey.